Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by. Today I'll be looking at spoil board maintenance. While my spoil board doesn't look too bad, there are a few things on it. One is that there's these grooves here, they're about 1mm deep, nothing too major. But we have this big one here. I accidentally set my cutter wrong and it carved about 4mm into my spoil board. There's a couple of other little ones here like this, which is where a cutter came loose and pulled itself down into the board. There's also not a lot of sacrificial spoil board left on here. I really don't want to go much deeper than it is now. What I want to do is put a new piece of MDF over here and glue that on, but I don't want to leave things like this here buried under it, because one day I may cut through that and I'm left with a great big hole there. So what I'm going to show you is how you can repair something like this, and it's relatively easy to do. I'm going to start by measuring the size of the piece that I want to remove. In this case it's around about 120 by 50. I next have to use a pair of calipers and I'll measure how deep it is. And from here I can see it's 3.8mm. Using these measurements I'm going to create a file to cut a pocket into my spoil board. So looking here a bit closer, I've drawn a quick square around it as well, and then by putting diagonal lines in I've found the centre. The pocket I've made is referenced to this centre point, and as you can see I've made it bigger than the piece I want to remove, and that's so that I don't have to be 100% accurate. If I'm a little bit left or right by a few millimetres, it's not going to make any difference. What I've also done is I've set my cutter to the central point here. We're now ready to start cutting. Okay, now I've got a bit of a fuzzy edge there, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of sandpaper, like that, and just give it a light rub down, just to get rid of those furry bits. Doesn't take much. Now I could have made this hole a lot quicker with a larger cutter, but I've used a small 3mm cutter to make my corners as square as possible. Next I need to make the insert to go in here. Now again, I could cut this out on the CNC machine, but a table saw would be a lot quicker. Okay, so next I've taken a piece of 4.75mm MDF and I've cut it so it fits in the groove there. This piece has a small notch just in here, but that's alright. It's going to actually sit higher than the table, and it will also be machined off when I level the table. So next I need to add a bit of glue. I'm just using some standard PVA glue. I'm just going to get it right into here. And I'm just going to use a brush to spread it about, make sure it gets in everywhere. And I'll just put some of it on the back of here as well. You don't want to overdo this because this is a relatively tight fit. I'm going to have difficulty getting the glue to squeeze out of the edges. So I think I'm pretty right here. Let's get in there. And now we just need to get it into the table. I'm just going to use a hammer to knock it right down. Well, that's where I'm going to leave it tonight. I need to let the glue dry, so I'll cover in my next video how I'm going to level the table. So, thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers!